Hey, what's going on YouTube? Welcome to Post Cologne. Today we're taking a look at Lattafa Pride's Collection d'Antique 1910. Alright, so La Collection d'Antique 1910 is from the House of Lattafa. It's from their Pride line series. It's an eau de parfum concentration, and you can pick this sucker up for about $43 at various discounters. Link will be down in the description if you decide you want to check this one out. Also have some coupon codes. Save yourself a few bucks at a variety of different discounters if you decide you want to shop with them. Presentation on this, a pretty straightforward cardboard box for the initial presentation of this. We got all the necessaries on the back, and we got this vintage motorcycle right there, but typical cardboard box. But inside we have another box, and this is a nice, I'm not even sure if this is cardboard. This is a very thick plastic style of box that's nice shimmery gold to it, and name of the fragrance on the front, and it does open up like so, revealing our fragrance sitting inside this nice kind of fuzzy, velvety almost style of podium, or whatever you would call that. So box presentation, pretty nice. Revealing our bottle. So nothing too much to this bottle, just kind of a typical rectangular shape, kind of a matte white finish to it, kind of a half circle cap to it with that vintage motorcycle that is kind of embedded inside this bottle. So think what you may of that. I don't mind it, but some people might think it's a little bit on the overkill or tacky side. Cap on this is a mix of plastic and metal, so it's got some weight to it and a little bit of strength to it as well. Will not crush in my powerful hands. And the atomizer on this is pretty decent. Nice wide puffs, good distribution, will absolutely get the job done. So for $43, sticking with the Lattafa Pride line series, they always seem to have pretty nice presentations, and this one was no exception. So if you're wondering what Lattafa Pride's La Collection d'Antique 1910 smells like, that's a mouthful. You've come to the right place, because I'm about to tell you. Some of the notes listed in this are an apple, rose, davana, osmanthus, cedarwood, tonka bean, vanilla, and patchouli. So let me tell you what I get from this fragrance. In that opening, you get that nice, sweet, fruity style of apple that comes through. A little bit of a rosiness as well, but you mostly get that apple that comes through just kind of with like soft floral touch to the side of it. A little bit of that davana comes through, so it adds a bit of a balsamic touch to it, and you get that tonka from the base comes through. So really nice sweet profile that comes through with little hints of some balsamic green touches around the edges. Just absolutely crowd pleasing, mass appeal, easy to reach for style of fragrance in that opening, and very, very familiar scent DNA to the Paco Rabanne 1 million elixir DNA. Really has some overlaps with that one. Slight twists, but that's pretty much what they're going for with this fragrance. As this opens up, you do get a little bit more of a green touch that comes through, so you get some of that patchouli coming in from the base. There is a bit of a woodiness that comes through with that cedar, a little bit of fresh spice coming from that cedar as well, but it is a very subtle cedar with this there, just to kind of form a foundation for this fragrance to sit on. The apple is still there, but it's starting to give way a little bit more to that vanilla and tonka bean that's in the base, and those are really what become the star of the show. Adds a nice warmth to it, a little bit of coziness to it as well, and it just plays really nice with that kind of fresh, bright apple. But as you get towards the dry down, that's really what you're gonna get from this fragrance. That vanilla, that tonka, a little bit of cedar wood that's coming through, little kiss of that osmanthus as well, so it still has that fruity touch to it with a little hint of some green that comes through, but through and through, you're getting just a nice, cozy, soft, sweet, sort of woody green touch to this fragrance that's just mass appealing, crowd pleasing, and an absolute compliment beast. I've worn this I don't know how many times now, and every single time I wear this one, I have someone just tell me how great I smell, because like I said, it's just an easy to reach for compliment beast style of fragrance. So if you're into the Paco Rabanne 1 million elixir style of DNA, or if you just really like vanilla tonka style of fragrances, you're gonna like this one. So when it comes to the performance of Lattafa Pride's 1910, we're going with that. I'm not gonna say the whole name again. Decent performance. I might be a little disappointed, but I have very high standards when it comes to performance. About 6-7 hours worth of longevity. You can push that out a little bit longer on clothing, but the projection is moderate on this one. It doesn't really push off all that great. You're definitely gonna have a scent bubble. You'll have a decent scent trail for about the first hour to hour and a half. People are definitely gonna smell you, but I do find it settles in, and it does settle in fairly close at about to the 1.5 hour mark, maybe the 2 hour mark before it becomes a real intimate set, but it does linger for a decent amount of time. Like I said, 6-7 hours. You can push that to the 8 or 9 hour mark when you get some on your clothing, but overall, for the scent profile of this, I figured the performance would be a little bit better. I figured it might project off a little bit better, but through and through, that's just what we got here. So overall, not disappointed, but not overly thrilled with the performance. So when it comes to the where and when, I think Lattafa Pride's 1910 would be most appropriate. I think this is a pretty versatile, almost year-round style of fragrance because it has a nice mix of kind of that sweet apple, but as well as that kind of warm, cozy vanilla tonka that comes through with the cedar, the green touches, all that jazz. I do think you can wear this pretty much all year round, but I do think it's probably best suited for the spring and the fall time. It has that level of sweetness to it and that warmth to it that'll just kind of keep you cozy and smelling nice, but it also has that green touch to it, that bit of the bright liveliness with that apple that comes through and that osmanthus that just kind of lends itself to the springtime as well. I have worn this in the summer in the decent high heat and it didn't quite become cloying. It's not quite sweet enough to become cloying, but you are pushing the limits a little bit when it comes to the high heat. And in the wintertime, I think this would be just fine too, but it does have that brightness to it that I had mentioned that doesn't quite fit the vibe, but you can still pull it off in the wintertime as well. So like I said, I think this is a great overall year-round style of fragrance, but best suited for the spring and the fall. And in terms of occasions, I think this is a really versatile fragrance as well. Casual, you can wear this to the office, you can wear this on date nights, you can even probably dress this one up because it does have that nice kind of warm, cozy sort of feel to it as you get towards that dry down. With that little hint of the green and the cedar that even could get dressed up to like more of a formal occasion, just has a little bit of that mystique to it, but it also has a kind of a fun, playful, flirty side as well. But like I said, it's just an easy to reach for, dumb reach, mass appealing, compliment piece style of fragrance that, in my opinion, is very versatile across seasons and occasions. So my overall thoughts on Lattafa Pride's 1910. I think this is a pretty good fragrance. I think the quality on this is great for the Lattafa Pride line series. They typically have some pretty high quality fragrances, and this one being no exception. So no kind of screechy edges to it, no kind of, scratchiness or kind of synthetic-y sort of vibes going on to it. The apple perhaps just a little bit, but you do get that with apple notes fairly regularly. But I do think the quality on this, the smoothness of this, the kind of the texture, that soft, cozy feel as you get towards the dry down is definitely there. And I think price-wise, you're definitely getting your money's worth when it comes to the quality. And for the scent profile, for that matter, I think it's a great smelling fragrance. Like I said 100 times throughout this video, mass appealing, compliment beast, just dumb reach style of fragrance that you can wear across all sorts of different occasions and seasons. The only drawback with this one, I would say, and again, I kind of have high standards and I'm always hoping for kind of beast mode style of fragrances. I wish the performance was just slightly better for the price point of about $44. I was hoping I would get maybe an extra hour worth of projection or a little bit stronger projection, and perhaps the longevity could have been a bit better, but I am being very picky when I do say that. I do think it does perform fairly well for that price point, and even compared to other high-end designer and niche fragrances, I think it does still hold up. So maybe I'm being too critical, I don't know, but that'd be my only critique. I think the performance could be a little bit better, but overall, I am quite happy with the scent profile on this, and like I said, every time I've worn this, I've gotten a compliment. So it's working for me. It might work for you. You might want to check it out. That's Lattafa Pride's La Collection d'Antique 1910. And I want to hear from you guys. What's another Lattafa fragrance I haven't covered that you want to hear me talk about? Comment down below. I love hearing from you guys. I love getting your different recommendations, your hidden gems, different tastes and scent profiles. Appreciate you. And if you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you all next time.